Welcome to MiamiDolphins.com. Barry Butel alongside Ryan Grice-Mullen. Ryan, you're here with the Miami Dolphins. At least you're around one familiar face, and that being Devon Bess, your teammate at Hawaii. What's it like to be back around him?
Man, it's pretty good. Somebody that you're real close with. Almost you consider like a brother. So, it definitely made things easier coming in, and having that help. Just not so much on the field football, but just mentally. Mentally preparing you. Letting you know how things go. Turn out, or how things go. Play out, and little stuff like that. And definitely always stand on me. So.
Did you talk about the situation at wide receiver? Talk a little bit about Carl Durrell a little bit. What the scenario was behind the scenes here?
You know what? I mean, a little bit. We never really touched much on that. I kind of knew the situation. Coming in here. When I was here. So, but just the biggest thing. He helped me with is just kind of the outside aspects of everything. Helping me be comfortable, coming in, because it's always tough being that new guy coming in. It's like being a new guy coming in school. You going to a new school, and you come in, you kind of nervous a little bit. You don't know how things goes. How the Miami Dolphins run things. So just having that inside, and let me know how things is ran here, and things like that, I think really helped.
Didn't seem, at least statistically, to be nervous that first year at Hawaii. 12 TDs, 1,200 yards. How much fun was that offense?
Oh, man, too much fun. Yeah, too much fun. We definitely had a good time. We had our ups and downs in the beginning, but once we got comfortable, that was the biggest thing. Once we got comfortable, and just back to just playing ball, wasn't thinking so much. We was able to go out there and play, and you've seen, every year it got, better and better. So it was pretty fun.
Coach Brano talked about the two of you being on the field and looking at some of that collegiate tape and the crossing patterns, just how you really mixed up a defense.
Oh man, it was, we felt it was pretty much fun. We felt anytime we was on the field together, and we definitely had plays that that we was on the same side of the field. We felt it was pretty much no way that we was gonna get stopped. One of us was gonna be open, and a lot of times with that offense, we pretty much was. So it was, it was good fun, and like I said, it's good being back here, and being back on the field with somebody that somebody you feel comfortable with, and one of the best things about it is that he know me so well. He know my strengths. He know a little bit of my weaknesses. So the biggest thing is, it's kind of hard coming to somewhere new and you have a coach. He don't really know you all out well yet. To really know your strengths and weakness and all that. So having Devon here, if it's a certain play, he can tell me kind of how, a little bit how to run it. Like, okay, you remember this play? This kind of how we ran it in college. So. It kind of helped me, get the concept and little things like that. So, I'm just thankful for the opportunity that, being in here and coming here and compete. So.
Now you competed north of the border, the BC Lions. On the defensive side, Cameron Wake, was he there? And what a force was he on the defensive side? What'd you see?
Oh man, he was unreal to watch. It was. Usually I'm not a player that's, when we're on the sideline, I'm not really all up on the sidelines like that. I'm kind of, trying to get my own rest and all that. But man, when he was on the field, you was up on the sideline because you want to watch like the fans, because pretty much every other play he was making a force, getting a sack or something. So he was a great player, and he was fun to watch.
You set a record there with a 106-yard punt return, I believe. Do they need a returner here? I'm sure that's in the back of your mind, right?
Definitely. Definitely in the back of my mind. I think that's one of the biggest things why I'm here. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and just like I said, I'm looking forward to being a young guy anyway. If it's punt return, if it's kick return, if it's coming down on kickoff, if it's four receiver or whatever, wherever three receiver, it don't matter. I'm just looking for I'm just looking forward to playing ball. So.
We do have a social networking component for this interview, and via our official Facebook page, Sanishi from Tokyo, Japan, has a lighthearted question. He wants to know, of all the Hawaiian Islands, which one should he go to on vacation?
I would say Maui. Maui. I think Maui has the best of both worlds of Oahu and Kauai. Kauai, if you're really looking for it, you don't want to do nothing, just literally just lay on the beach. You don't want nobody bugging you. I say go to Kauai. If you go to Oahu, I'll tell everybody, Oahu is just as much as a city as anywhere else. It's busy. You got little stuff to do here and there, and you got your beaches, but they're all busy, full of tourists. Maui is more like resorts. It's they got the hotel strip, and it's quiet, but it still has a little nightlife that you can go out. So my suggestion would be Maui.
There you go, Shinichi, the tour guide of the Hawaiian Islands. Thank you, Ryan Grice-Mullen. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.